Hey, fight fans, welcome back to Carl Peruz MMA. Today we got a special guest for you. My guest is getting ready to return to the UFC Octagon on August 9th. He's taking on Toshiomi Kazama. He is Mr. Elijah Smith. Elijah, what's going on, my friend?
What's going on? What's going on? Nothing much. Just another day.
Absolutely, man. Glad to have you back on the show. Got a big fight coming up. Your second fight in the UFC, taking on Kazama. And overall, we're pretty excited when you got the phone call with this one.
Yeah, I was definitely excited. I like the matchup. And I feel like this is gonna be one that, I get that finish and get that bonus. We've been working really hard all fight camp, and now what? We're like 2 weeks away, so I'm feeling great. I'm feeling confident, and yeah, I'm just ready to go, man. Ready to go put on another show.
Absolutely, man. Obviously, your first time out, you took on Vince Morales, picked up a great win there. Are you feel like you're still riding on some of that momentum, from a successful first time out?
Man, I feel like I've been riding on a momentum from my last six fights. I'm on a 6 fight winning streak, and yeah, I just feel like each fight I'm getting better and better, and yeah, I just been enjoying all the support, the hype, all that stuff like that. So, but I don't let it get too much into my head to where I'm like, getting big headed and overlooking my opponents. But yeah, I'm definitely in a good place.
This past year's been kind of crazy for you, man. A lot of big moments, obviously. Got a big contender series contest over a tough guy, and Aaron Tao was able to take
Yeah.
him down, won your debut. Does life feel different?
Funny enough, it doesn't feel different. I think the only thing that's like been different is that more people know me. But for the most part, I mean, life goes on, continues. I have like every time I go out here in my hometown, everybody like, "Oh, Elijah Smith, I recognize you. I seen you fight," and it's all love. I've never had any fan try to like test me or anything like, "Hey, I think I could take you," but it's always been all love. So I think that's the only thing that's changed is that more people know me, but I feel like I'm just still living life normal. Going to Walmart like usual. I'm not, I tell people like I have a couple of people there that came up to me. They're like, you're kind of famous, and I'm like, I kind of correct them. I'm like, I'm more like well known. I'm a well known person that knows how to whoop ass. That's about it.
You mentioned a little bit that you haven't had any fans that are trying to test you. In this day and age, we have a phenomenon called the casual fan. And,
The
I
casual fan.
believe me, I think every fan is good for the sport. I don't think there's a bad fan for mixed martial arts. But do you remember any funny moments of either, guys maybe trying to say some weird stuff on Instagram or being in the stands here and twist them in the what or some crazy takes or anything like that?
um. I think nah, not too much. I think the funniest encounterment was actually it was after my fight, the debut Vince Morales, and after the fight, we're in Vegas because the fight was pretty early, so we're in Vegas around like 6 o'clock. We went out on the strip and just enjoyed our time. And when I was in the elevator, there was some fight fans, and they recognized I was wearing my sweater, my UFC sweater that had Swift on the back, and they were like, "Yo, is that Anthony Smith sweater?" I was like, "Nah, not quite, brother. That's actually my sweater. I just fought a couple of hours ago." But other than that, nah, I haven't had any crazy stuff. I do have a lot of people DMing me on Instagram talking about like for especially for this upcoming fight. They keep telling me like, "Yo, Elijah, should I put, knockout for the first round, or should I bet the money line?" I'm like, I don't even respond to that. I just look at it. I'm like, I always tell people, do what you want to do with your money. I'm not guaranteeing you anything. So yeah, do what you want to do with your money. It's betting, so yeah.
Obviously, for you, you've been around mixed martial arts and almost basically your entire life. Obviously, your dad being a fighter and everything, being able to watch his journey as you were growing up when you were younger, does that kind of make more normalcy out of the position that you have yourself in right now?
Nah, because I feel like now that I'm starting to, you know, my pops, he said it about a couple of weeks ago. He said, as we were getting gearing up for this fight, he said, "Elijah, you're about to step into a territory that none of us have stepped into," and that kind of hit big because it's like yeah, my dad, he's fought in the UFC, he's fought in Bellator, he's fought on the Ultimate Fighter, but we never got to a second fight in the UFC, you know? So I feel like now it's like I'm stepping in. I kind of already made my own name, and I don't have my father's shadow to follow or to cover me. So I feel like I've done a pretty good job of making my own name for myself, and yeah.
You know, you're making a name for yourself in one of the toughest divisions in the sport. You know, that 135 division for the past few years has been just nothing but killers. I mean, when you look at 1 to
uh,
15, it's all stacked. Even the guys that are all not ranked. I mean, I don't think there's not a easy fight in that division, in my opinion. Does that
no.
excite you even more?
It excites me a lot because I know that there's a lot of, like what you said, there's a lot of good fights that can be made, a lot of fights that I'm looking forward to in the future. Like just to, I'm young, I'm 22. I want to go out there and test myself, and see, like, how good am I? So I think I'm in the best weight class in the world, which is 135, the bantamweight division, and the matchups are endless. And I feel like another good thing is that we're exciting too. We're fast, but we also carry that knockout power to where we can end a fight at any given time. So it's anytime I watch a bantamweight fight, I'm always studying, I'm always looking close because I know that maybe one day that guy could be my opponent.
You know, I think you're a perfect example of this new generation of fighters here. I mean, now we're at a day and age here where this sport is very culturally accepted, is legal at pretty much every state now. Everyone knows it, everyone watches it basically. Kids are doing jiu-jitsu 6 7 years old now. I mean, you're starting to train MMA at such a young age, and we're seeing more of you young guys, 22, 23, 24, get into the UFC, start to do big things. One guy 23 years old who's killing in the UFC right now is Josh Van. When you
Yeah.
look at guys like that, could you see yourself on a similar trajectory?
Oh hell yeah. I mean, me and Joshua Van, like it was so crazy. It's four of us that shared a card on Fury. It was Joshua Van, he was the main event. No, it was probably like five of us. It was Joshua Van, Cameron Smotherman, me, Jacoby Smith, Michael Aswell, and then even what's his name? Nick Piccinini or
Yeah.
something like that. All six of us shared that card, and to like see like where we're at now in the UFC, and also seeing Joshua Van, who's only about he's a year older than me, and seeing where he's gotten, I'm like, why can't I do it? Why can't I do the same thing? So it's definitely motivating to see a guy like Joshua Van go out there and, you know, and be in the position that he's in. It's definitely motivating. Somebody who I actually watched live, shared the same card, damn near the same age as me. I'm like, yo, that makes sense. Yeah, I can. If he can do it, I know damn well I could do it.
One thing about you, man, you're such an exciting fighter. There's no such thing as a boring Elijah Smith fight. You go up there with a lot of pace, a lot of pressure. You have some serious pop. You're well rounded. For you, how much pride do you take in your fighting style?
I take a lot of pride in my fighting style because I know like where I can be. I know where I'm at right now, and I know where I can be. So I'm like, if I just keep building on to what I already have and keep building on, my good boxing, good wrestling, good jiu-jitsu, I know that I can be at the top of the game. And I know that I have the speed advantage a lot of the times. I'm a little bit taller, a little bit longer than a lot of bantamweight fighters. So I know if I just, with all my God-given talents, and I bring a little more outside technique into my fighting style, I know that I can be at the top of the top. So I take a lot of pride in my fighting style, and I like being exciting. I always tell people, like, I want to. At the end of the day, we're MMA fighters, but we are entertainers. So I always want to be known as like, hey, Elijah. If Elijah fights, you might want to sit down and actually pay attention to this fight. You don't want to miss a single moment of that fight. So that's kind of how I see my fight style.
When it comes to pure athletic ability, do you feel like you're one of the best athletes in all of the UFC?
Without a doubt. I feel like I'm definitely one of the best pure athletes. And it's just something that was just, instilled into me since I was, a little kid. I always wanted to be, the fastest, the strongest. I wasn't always the tallest or the biggest now. But I had visions of like, my alter ego. In my head, I was always the biggest, the strongest, the fastest, the most athletic. So I mean, yeah, and that's not even trying to be like cocky. That's just something that I think it comes from that competitive drive that I've always had as well.
I feel like a really big thing that a fighter must possess to be one of the top in the world is obviously you have to have the skills, right? You have to have that striking, the jiu-jitsu, the wrestling, but the mind, the mental aspect of this is very important. You have a unique personality. I mean, you are a very naturally confident person. Is that something that's always come for you?
That wasn't a natural thing. That was something that probably my junior year of high school. Like growing up, I was, I always felt like I was always overlooked. Um, so by my junior year of high school, I kind of just like said, "F it." I was like, "I'm gonna make y'all believe. I'm gonna make y'all. If y'all don't believe who I am now, I'm gonna show every single one of us like who Elijah Smith is." So it wasn't always like that in the beginning. I always felt like I always got overlooked. I wasn't super talkative. I wasn't. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't like a loner or anything like that. But I just wasn't. You know, I didn't know what kind of gifts I possessed. I didn't know how good I actually was as an athlete. So once I found out how good I can actually be, I think that's when it was like, Elijah, you got to stop letting these people step on you. You got to start stepping on others.
So you're getting ready to make your second fight in the UFC. You return to the octagon, go into the Apex, taking on Toshiomi Kazama. Overall, what do you think of him as an opponent here?
I think he's a good jiu-jitsu artist off his back. Um, but on the striking, I think his head is going to be there to get punched. I see that he doesn't like pressure. So there's a lot of things. He's a really good fighter, but unfortunately, I got to be the one that's going to have to take him out. And I have no choice. I got my family. I got that Anthony Smith mentality, man. You taking food off my family's table, so I got to go out there and I got to, you know, put that belt to his ass.
So you're fighting the Apex once again. One thing about the Apex, obviously, it's a smaller cage that the UFC uses than the arena shows. Being that you've had your whole career in the UFC, basically in the Apex from contender to the debut, do you find some normalcy there, knowing that the cage is similar sizes to the one you've been battling it out on the regional scene for all these years?
Um, yeah, I mean, it really didn't. Like, I've fought in some really small cages, and I've fought in some really big cages. To me, it's just fighting. Fighting is fighting. It doesn't matter. It's like what they say. It doesn't matter if we were in the parking lot, at the park, at home, at the gym. It's gonna go down. So it doesn't matter what size. All you got to do is just make sure I'm getting paid. Make sure a referee is in between us, and I'm all set.
From a stylistic standpoint, what do you think of this matchup?
I think this is a great matchup for me. I think this is something that I really need, that I needed to really showcase like how much better I've gotten uh, from my last fight to this fight. And I just stylistically, I just feel like I'm a bad matchup for Toshiomi Kazuma, but I'm gonna treat him like a world champion and not letting my guard down, and I'm gonna go out there and give it my all and come out victorious.
You feel like, from a stylistic standpoint, this is a matchup that maybe sets up a potential knockout bonus, performance bonus situation.
Oh man, we've been talking about it since I got signed. Me and my manager, Jason House, me and my pops, we all just like, man, this is gonna be the one. This is gonna be the the life changing fight that we all been waiting for. And yeah, I can't thank my manager, Jason House, for you know getting everything lined up and set up. And yeah, this has got to be the one. So and also not only is it the one to get that bonus, but also the one to really get my name out. Like, okay, Elijah, he can get a finish on the regional scene, but can he get a finish on the world scene in the UFC on the biggest platform in the world? And I want to be able to showcase, yes, I can do it under the big lights on ESPN Plus when millions or thousands, however many people are watching. I can get it done.
All right. All right. Before I let you go here, one thing I want to do is I want to run by some big fights that are coming up, and I want to get your predictions to see who's gonna pull at top of these huge matchups we got. So we got a big middleweight championship bout. We got Dricus Duplessis. He's taking on Hamzat Shemaev. Who pulls out the dub on that one?
I'm gonna go with DDP by some wild shit.
Another big exciting one that we got. We got Gian Silva. He's taking on Diego Lopez. What a fun fight.
Ooh, that was actually a hard one, but I'm gonna have to go with my boy Diego Lopez. I like John Silver though. I like both of them, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go with my boy Diego.
We got some big fun ones that just recently got announced. We got a big rematch. Alex Pereira taking on Magomed Ankalaev once
Oh
again.
yeah,
Who wins that
Chama,
one? Shama.
Chama. Let's go, Alex. I want to see. Alex Pereira is good for MMA.
All right, and the last
Good
one
for
here,
good.
one that really pertains to you in your division, obviously, it's the 135 championship contest. It's Merab Devashvili. He's taking on Corey Sandhagen. Who wins that?
Again, I like both these guys, but I'm gonna have to go with the Colorado boy, Corey Sandman Hagan.
So we just talked about some of the biggest names in the sport. When you're watching these guys fight, does that motivate you at all? Do you get any inspiration off of some of the big names?
Yeah, definitely. Because I'm always trying to see like what can I do in my game that they're doing. Like, can I add a little bit to take something that they're doing that I like in their fight and put it into my game and make it into my own little flavor. So yeah, but not only that, but like when I see guys like Corey Sandhagen or like Brandon Royval, Chris Guti, like guys that are from where I'm from, like like it motivates me to like, okay, Elijah, you can definitely be in that same position. So definitely seeing these big guys and seeing them achieve their dreams, buying their mom a house, buying their pops a car or whatnot. That's the end goal. Like I want to be able to take care of my family. So when I see these fighters being able to do that same thing, that's like motivating to me.
For you, how much fun are you having on this journey?
Man, I'm having too much fun. I feel like every day is something new. Um, Still learning a whole lot and being around a lot of great people who's been at the top of the top, fought for championships, and I can't complain, man. I can't complain.
Absolutely. All right, Elijah, last question for you, my friend. In a perfect world, what is the outcome August 9th when you return to the UFC octagon against Toshiomi Kazama?
It would be a knockout in the first round. Get in and get out clean, like Swift, man.
Absolutely. Well, Elijah, man, thank you so much for taking the time out, training camp. Talk to me, man. Always a pleasure. Excited to see you get back in there and do your thing, my friend.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. That's it for us tonight. I'm Carl Prusa. He is Mr. Elijah Swift Smith. Watch him August 9th, making the return to the UFC Apex, taking on Toshiomi Kazama. Take it easy, fight fans.